Hey, good morning, family. It is exciting to be on here today. Coming, as you can see, in a new capacity. We are going to be launching the publishing room. And so this will be talking about everything publishing. Today, I just wanted to get on here and just talk about who we are as Kingdompreneur Publishing, as well as just kind of talk a little bit about what the publishing room is going to be about. But we will be meeting on Wednesdays. There's not a set time for this yet, just because I'm still in a process of getting my schedule down packed. And so once we actually have that down, we will actually start to create a flyer so people can kind of be aware of when we will be hosting these publishing rooms, but they will be on Wednesdays. But once again, guys, welcome to the publishing room. My name is Bree Smith. I am the founder and CEO of Kingdompreneur Publishing LLC. All right. And our vision is to help visionaries. So it doesn't matter if you're a business owner, if you're a coach, like a Christian coach, if you are a minister in the gospel, or if you just, are a Christian, you've written a book, we are here to help visionaries turn their God-given ideas into professionally published books. All right. That is our purpose. All right. And so what kind of makes us different, right? So we have kingdom values. All right. So we don't publish any and everything and we'll talk more about that if you ever do a one-on-one with us. But yeah, we don't do like occult books, any erotica type of books, anything with vulgarities or even profanities and things of that nature. We're not publishing that. Now we do publish things from that is from a Christian standpoint. So if you have a book, and maybe you're dealing about certain aspects of the occult, we're not saying that we won't publish something like that, but we are very in aligned with biblical values and principles. Okay, so that's really what makes us different. So we have kingdom values, professional excellence, okay, ownership, integrity, and stewardship. All right. And like I said, we like to educate the people. That's why we're on here today. And like I said, weekly, we're going to be doing these lives with you guys so that you can be educated about what's going on, right? Even if Kingdompreneur Publishing is not the publisher, at least you will have a better idea of, what to do, what to expect, how to make sure you're prepared and things of that nature. And so, like I said, we're very excited, like I said, for this brand new launch. All right. As you can see at the bottom, we do have information that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So feel free at any point in time, check out our website at kingdompreneurpublishing.com. You can also send us an email at info@kingdompreneurpublishing.com. All right. Or even feel free to DM us on our Kingdompreneur Publishing social media page, or if you're on my personal page, you can feel free to DM me there. All right. And so, what is the publishing room? Okay. And so this is, like I said, going to be a weekly broadcast, an educational broadcast where we're going to be talking about all things publishing. All right. So it's designed for authors who are ready to move beyond, just ideas. Like you're really like in the edge. Maybe you're at your final stage of wanting to publish. Right. You're serious about publishing correctly. You're looking for clarity and professional support. So this is for those authors. All right. So what this is not it's not about writing a sprint. It's not motivation only, okay? Just to, get you motivated. It's not about guesswork, okay? This is publishing education, all right? For industry clarity as well as strategic guidance and a bridge to professional services, all right? And so the publishing room exists to remove confusion and replace it with clarity, all right? And so, what are some topics that we're going to be discussing in the publishing room? And so, the publishing process from manuscript to marketplace, editing, formatting, book quality, cover design, branding, ISBNs, copyright, ownership, distribution, print on demand, book launches, marketing, author positioning, and visibility, consulting, and book to brand strategy. And so, book to brand strategy is literally being able to turn the information that you have in your book into other different types of products and services. And so we have a consult, an author consult. Uh, you can actually work with us on that to help you be able to do that, as well as kingdom stewardship and excellence in publishing. Okay. So everything we teach in this room is connected to real publishing decisions authors have to make, right? Because it's all about you, right? It's about your journey as an author, what you need. Like I said, some people are not even going to need a publisher. They can go out once they start learning these tools and be able to implement themselves, right? And publish. But for those who are like, listen, I ain't doing all that because I don't have the time to do that. Then of course, like I said, you get to kind of see how it is to work with us, right, on a one-on-one basis. All right. And so we're going to dive a little bit into a little bit of teaching today, but not a lot, but just a little bit. All right. And so one important publishing truth. All right. Writing a book versus publishing a book. Okay, guys. So writing is the creation of content. Okay, so hear me. It's about the creation of content. Publishing is the execution of a process or execution of that content, right? Actually getting that content or that literary work out there. So many authors get stuck because they don't know the difference. Okay. You can write all day, right? There's people that write, they have journals upon journals upon journals of writings. They have things that they've written in the computer. But you are not, you can be an author, but you're not a published author until it has gone through the publishing process, right? And you have the finished result of that process. All right. And so this gap is where confusion, delay, and mistakes can happen, right? And this is why authors don't just need encouragement, they need structure and support, right? They need structure and support. All right. And another thing too, guys, I don't know if anybody's ever taught you this, but I'm going to be the person that's going to teach you, okay? Because I had to learn this the hard way. All right. I have written a book back in 2020. The Lord had given me, I had a beautiful experience here. It took me into the throne room, but I didn't see myself as I saw myself now. I saw myself as a small child and as a cartoon character. And I'm having this experience with God in the throne room. And this had actually came after a 3-day fast. All right. And so anybody who's stuck and they're like, man, Bray, I'm stuck. I don't know what I need to do. I'm gonna tell you, if you're a kingdom author, fast. It is going to do wonders for you. Okay. So after the 3-day fast, guys, I came out of that fast and the Lord spoke to me and he said, hey, he said, I want you to write a book. I want you to write a children's book. And it's going to be based off your life testimony. And I was so gun-ho. I was so excited, right? And so he was like, it's going to be called Bree's Heavenly Adventures. And it's based off of you, right? It's about me as a little child. And so I had ended up writing this book, and maybe I don't have any copies of the book on me right this second. So next week I'll give you guys a preview of the book. Wrote that book. I'm talking about the Lord literally with me and the Holy Spirit wrote the whole entire series out. Okay, was excited, was gun ho, right? Published the book. And it costs a lot of money because you have to understand children's books, hear me, children's books cost a lot of money to produce because of the illustrations. Okay. But luckily the person, my illustrator that I worked with allowed me to like make payments and all that type of stuff. And I end up doing at least 2. I still have more in the series I have to produce. But what nobody didn't tell me was after I got done publishing the book, how to properly position myself and market the book. Okay. And this is the thing. And this is why I'm not publishing children's books. It is not that I can't publish a children's book. I've published children's books. But like I said, the cost of it's so high. I'd rather for you just to sit down and have an author consult with me or self-publishing consult, and I tell you everything you need to do. Because like I said, cut out the middleman. Because you got to understand, we still the middleman. The publisher company is the middleman in trying to get everything done. We still got to pay the people to produce the illustrations. So that's the main reason why I don't do it. But like I said, I don't mind sitting down and doing a publishing consult with you on that. But back to what I was saying. I did not know how to properly market myself. And the only reason why I didn't is because one, I did not know who my audience was. And anytime you are writing a book, okay, and this is what I need y'all to understand, you are becoming a business owner. And I know you're probably like, what? How am I a business owner because I'm writing a book? Business owners do what? They set out to do what? They set out to solve a problem. Okay, hear me. They set out to solve a problem. When you're writing a book, you're setting out to solve a problem. Because I'm gonna let y'all know something. I wrote my beautiful book. It was a beautiful testimony. Like I said, that children's book, there was a beautiful testimony and all that. But people don't care about your story. Okay. And I'm not trying to hurt your feelings that way, but I'm just being realistic. People don't care about your story. When people are purchasing a book from you, it is to help solve a crisis or a particular problem in their life. And if that book is not going to help solve their problem, they are not going to exchange any money with you. And so you have to understand, okay, what problem am I trying to solve? And who is my target audience? And if you do not understand those two things, then you need to take a step back on you trying to even publish a book, okay? Because you need to understand those things before you even go into the publishing process. So let me give you an example. Let me give you a prime example. Let's say that your story is you have been dealing with domestic violence and you have overcame domestic violence, okay? Beautiful. Now, there's two ways you can tackle this. Your first audience, let's say you're a woman, and you want to write a book, particularly for a group of women to show them characteristics of an abuser, right? The ultimate goal, the purpose, you're trying to get the women out. Okay. So you're trying to help them to identify what an abuser looks like or how to be able to identify that they're in an abusive situation. Then you might give them strategies on how to get out of that situation, right? That is a book that a woman that's going through domestic violence is going to purchase. Or let's say that you're on the other side. Okay. Like I said, you're on the other side and you want to show women who are on the other side, maybe they've left their spouses, they've already went through that process. Now you're particularly talking to women, right, who are like I said, they need healing and deliverance, and you've already walked through a healing and deliverance journey, and so you're teaching them through this book how to recover and restore in their life. You see what I'm saying? How to gain restoration. You see what I'm saying? You see how it was about domestic violence for both, but it was for particular audiences in the process. You have to know who your target audience is. Because if you don't know who your target audience is, you ain't selling to nobody. And if you don't know, like I said, what problem your book is set out to solve, you're not selling to nobody. And that's really the main problem as people get into it. And that is what I learned. Okay. I'll tell you a little bit more about my background. And so, like, during that time, during 2020, like I said, I wrote that book and I was like, oh my God, I'm struggling. And I realized that other authors were struggling too. Okay. And so that the Lord led me to create a thing called the author push. So some of y'all might be familiar with that brand because that was my brand. And so we started off with what? We started off with a showcase and we had a magazine. It was all for authors, right? And so the showcase, everybody would come on and they would what? Present their books, right? Their services, products, all that to a particular audience. Well, that ended up shifting. We shifted from the showcase and then we went into what? The actual talk show. So we had the Author Push talk show where people came on and they talked about, right, their books and still once again promoting their products and services. Because one thing that I learned, guys, that media is a powerful tool. Hear me. So anybody out there who's like scared of like being on media and social media and all that type of stuff, like, listen, you got to get into the game. Okay? Because old ways of doing things. Technology is constantly evolving. We are in the AI age. We have to know how to use these different things in order to position us in the marketplace. Okay. A lot of people, they don't understand that, but we have to. We are a very technological, advanced society. And so the more that you are able to integrate, you're going to have to get on social media, right? As an author, you're going to have to set up, like I said, YouTube pages and Instagram, Facebook, TikTok pages, right? Now I will say, where your audience is. So this is where you're going to have to do market research. A lot of people are not doing market research, but you're going to have to do market research to figure out where your audience is. Because even though your audience may be on Facebook, they might not be on your page. They might be in a Facebook group. But you have to understand how to even talk in those Facebook groups, because those people don't want you promoting your services in their group. You know what I mean? So you're going to have to give value. You know what I'm saying? You might have to talk to people offline, like, you know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. So you can add people from those groups. And like I said, talk to them, have conversations. You know what I mean? But don't be like trying to push, and press people, because like I said, I realize that people don't like that, especially if they ain't asked for you to come into their DM. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm dropping some nuggets for y'all. Okay. One thing that I learned, and like I said, if anybody know my testimony, I mean, I've been like in a lot of different industries, and I feel like, God, why have you done that? Because I feel like I look like a fool, right? But I realize that He has taught me a lot of things from me doing that. This is why I'm able to come on and teach and be able to give you the value. One thing that I've learned, especially when I was working in the insurance industry. Okay. Shout out to PHP. I still really like what they do. So shout out to y'all. Now, they had taught us how to properly market online. Okay. So there's such thing, I'm gonna teach y'all, such thing as what? Cold marketing, warm marketing, hot. Cold marketing is, like I said, people don't know who you are at all. They don't know you. All right. And so let's say you try to go into somebody's DM and talk to them. It's going to be a lot reluctance there. And I know there's some, marketing agencies that teach people how to do that, but no, I don't suggest doing that. Then you have warm marketing. What is warm marketing? Warm marketing is, let's say that you put a post online about your book or your product or your service, and let's say that somebody hearts it or they like it. Okay. So it's like, okay, that's warm marketing. That means they're feeling what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Um, and then hot marketing from a social media standpoint is, let's say somebody comes on your post and they put a comment, and immediately they say, hey, we I like that. I'm DMing you now about that. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to both warm and hot, those are the people that you can message, because now you have something to reference back to. Like, hey, especially if it's a hot marketing client. Hey, I saw that you like my post. Thank you for reaching out. And now you can engage in this conversation. But if it's somebody, let's say, that just liked, like gave you a thumbs up or hearted it or gave you the little care emoji, you can still go in to their DM, right? Or private message them and say, hey, I saw that you like my post. And then start a conversation like, what did you find interesting about this post? And then from there, then you begin to talk about your products and services. But just to go into somebody's DM and they don't even know who you are, it's absolutely ludicrous. I know this is going against some people's industry standards because that's what they were taught, especially when it comes to some of these MLMs and all that. But no, you don't want to do that because it turns people off. Another thing, people like to be educated. So educate people about their products and services, especially your books. Educate them. Why? You know what I mean? Like I said, you want to talk about pain points. Talk about the pain points. How does this book help solve the problem. This is why you need to know what? Who your target market is, target audience is, what problem you're helping to solve. And then, like I said, then from there, like I said, talk about the pain points. And this is where, like I said, because we were talking about earlier about the AI and the digital age, how we're in the technological age of AI. Go to ChatGPT. You already know. Listen, I know some people like, man, we is not doing that. That is so demonic. Hear me. We ain't said that you go to ChatGPT and write no prophetic word, get no prayer, anything like that. We ain't said that. Okay. We're talking about business. Okay. Using it for business purposes. Okay. Hear me. You can go to ChatGPT, and from there, you can actually say, okay, you can say, generate for me 20 to 50 pain points that have to do with this particular audience that solves this particular problem. And it's going to generate. Now, guys, you have a lot of potential content ideas on how to talk to these people on social media. You can do just like me. You're coming on live. You're doing weekly educational lives. You know, the more you can come on live, the better it is going to be, right? Because you're putting yourself out there. But now you have things to teach the people on based upon what your book is about. And then at the end, at the end, you always want to do a what? A call to action. Do a call to action. Hey guys, if you found this, find this, what you learned, great. And here, I just got the Bible in front of me, so we're gonna just this book. You found that everything that we learned, that you learned today was something of value to you. Listen, I implement other strategies like that in my book. And then you always bring people back to the book. And then for those, like I said, who want to turn your book into other products and services, you can promote your other products and services. Do you see what I'm saying? But there should always be, right? You see what I'm saying? Like you want to have structure to this. So like I said, we ain't just coming online no more just to be coming online and scrolling. No. You're an author. You got to position yourself as an industry authority, as an expert, okay, in your particular field. Okay? Yeah. So, especially when it comes to a book, and then you want to make sure that you're at least, like if you're in the process of writing your book, start telling people, get people hyped up with you. Like, hey man, I'm writing my book. Drop a couple of key nuggets. So by the time your book is ready to be published, you've already built you a little audience that's gonna be ready to hit that buy button as soon as it's on there. But y'all, like I said, I'm just giving y'all little tips today, giving y'all a little bit of tips today. All right. Not going a lot. Like I said, next week we're going to talk a little bit more. But I just wanted to help you guys because, like I said, this is something that I was never taught. This is something that I had to learn. It's something I had to learn. And back to the media piece, like you're an author, like I said, media is a huge marketing tool. Good morning, Ashby. Good morning, Minister Summer. Thank you for watching. It's huge, and so you like listen. If like I said, we're going back. I'm trying to teach y'all to think like a business owner. You know who your target market is. You know what problem your book is helping to solve. Okay, you need to create you an author one sheet. Okay, so that people know what you're doing. And then, like I said too, don't be afraid to hit up podcasters, especially if you know that your book or your product and service is going to be able to help their particular audience. But once again, you got to do research. And I know that's something that a lot of us don't want to do. Like I said, we like, oh, I got this vision from God. God told me to write a book. He did tell you to write that book. But he also told you to what? Count the cost. He also told you to what? Write the vision, make it plain. So there should be some steps. There should be some order to this. Not to say that you should not be obedient in writing. Yes, you should, but you got to think about the whole process of it. It's so much more than you just writing a book. and publishing it. You can write it and publish it, and it's going to sit right on that shelf because you didn't do nothing with it. See what I'm saying? And so, guys, like I said, this is a little bit of tips for today. So, how do we support authors here at Kingdompreneur Publishing? Okay. And so first we do it through our publishing packages, and we have 5 different publishing packages. Yes, I promoted the lowest level, which is the $397 level, but we go all the way up to $1997. And a lot of that has to do with how much more marketing and promotion we are giving to a client. Now, each of our packages, guys, we have where, like I said, we used to do the author push. Okay, we rebranded. So now we're doing a thing called Call to Write. So that is going to be our new program, if you will, for authors to be able to come on and tell their stories. All right. And so like I said, we have publishing packages that range anywhere from we got a $397 package, a $597 package, a $797 package, a $997 package, and a $1997 package. And each of them, like I said, deal with publishing, but they're gonna each deals particularly with more marketing. So if you need help with more marketing and promotional services, that's what you're paying for. Okay. And so, like I said, publishing packages are going to consist of editing, formatting, cover design, ISBNs, and distribution setup. And so, we're going to be using Amazon, but also, too, guys, if you just like, listen, I ain't trying to be on Amazon. I like Lulu, and so we'll use Lulu as well. But like I said, Amazon is going to be our primary one because those will be the ones where you can get all 3 of them. I know for sure. They got the ebook versions, the paperback, and the hardback copies. All right. And then as well as, guys, like I said, you guys have complete ownership and royalty rights 100%. We are not trying to take any royalties from you. We're not trying to own your thing, your literary works. That is all you. Okay, this is something God gave you. We're just here to help position you guys to get you to where you need to be so that you can publish your books. Okay, also, too, right? Marketing and promotional services, which is a huge thing. I said, a lot of us write, but we don't understand, like, oh my God, I need that. I need to do that. Okay, I need help with marketing. I need to know how to properly market and sell my books, right? Or even ideas on where to sell, how to sell, all that type of stuff. So we do that through our author spotlight interviews, which are called Call to Write, right? And then we have, book promotional services, visibility and positioning, launch support. So, like I said, with our higher tier packages, we actually have a digital launch, right? Where you'll actually be able to do a digital book launch, right? So you'll be able to get your friends, your family, put that out there for anybody that wants to support your church family. So everybody is aware that you're doing this, all right? And then last but not least, guys, we offer consulting services, right? So we do author consults. So that's going to help you. Like I said, if you're stuck in the author process and you're like, man, Bree, I don't know what you think my book could, like, my target audience would be for this particular type of book. Or if you need, like, trying to figure out, just anything in the writing process, that would be that particular consult, the author consult. We also are doing the self-publishing consult. And so this could be for somebody that's like, listen, Brie, I don't need you to self-publish for me, but I just need a little support. Like, where can I find a copy editor, a cover designer, things like that. And so we help you with that. And then last but not least, we also do, right, our marketing one. Okay, so this will be for marketing strategies and how to, like, properly set yourself up to market and sell your book. So we do offer those services. All right. And you can actually you can completely check out our website. It lists all of those things on there. All right. I know our website only mentions the first 3 packages, but like I said, we do have 5 packages. They range anywhere from $397 all the way up to $1997, and like I said, each service has more to do with marketing and promotional services. So that's what you're paying for in those. But like I said, guys, if you're ready to publish your book or you need help like step-by-step guidance. We're here to connect with you. Feel free to DM me. Feel free to send me an email at info@kingdompreneurpublishing.com. All right. Also, too, guys, in the link in the description below, you'll find where you can actually set up a 15-minute free discovery call with us about the publishing packages, where we actually go over a business presentation with you and things like that. And so I do want to make everybody aware I do have a team. So it's not just me that is publishing the book. There's going to be a team of us that's actually helping to get your book together. I act more so in the project manager role, making sure that everything is put together. All right. And so, guys, like I said, thank you guys so much for joining on today. I pray that this blessed you, and we will be back next week for another Publishing Room episode. All right, guys, love you with the love of Christ. Have a good day.